we found that there were 10,000 people turning 65 every single day in this space. And the target opportunity just became this pool of people that was endless.
Yeah.
And it was going to be endless for years and years and years. And so we decided to jump in, and one thing led to the next, and we were off to sell Medicare.
So it started because you were selling health insurance over the phone, and then you realized that market was dead, so you're going to try to sell Medicare products over the phone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you first started telling people that, what was the feedback? What did you get from people? They said, go for it, this is never going to work. I mean, what did you get?
Yeah, it was really interesting. When we first did it, people are like, what are you doing? Like, in fact, when we were looking for leads in the space, no one sold Medicare leads. In fact, every lead that was sold was a pre-65 lead, and they just happened to have this spillover for people that were filling out forms online that happened to be around 64, 65, and these insurance companies, these lead providers that were selling these leads, they didn't know what to do with them. And so, we called them up, and they're like, yeah, we have all these leads that we don't know what to do with. Do you want those?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. So we took those leads.
That's awesome. That's
So,
awesome.
so Brandon, as you're transitioning from this health space into the Medicare space, tell us a little bit about that transition. What were some of the struggles, some of the opportunities? But as you embarked in that, what did you experience?
It was an interesting dilemma, because I was hired at the time to start a call center for individual health insurance. We thought that was going to just dominate the world, right? And in a 2-month period of time, when it got shut down and the industry changed, it was a little bit of a panic mode.
Yeah.
And as we navigated our way into a different space, we had to start from scratch. And it was really interesting because I had never been in Medicare more than 5 minutes. And I spent literally 2 months learning everything I could learn about the space, and studying and reading and looking on websites and talking to people to become an expert in a short period of time of 2 months, just so we could start this call center.
Yeah. Well, and if anybody, as you get to know Brandon on this call, you're going to understand that he is an expert in his field. And what I love about Brandon is no matter what he's doing, he will quickly learn, investigate, become the subject matter expert in anything that he does. And I'm guessing that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, we had to become experts overnight for sure. It was one of those unique opportunities to learn something new, and then we had to build a CRM to track everything that we were doing. We had to find lead vendors to buy leads, and then I had to train agents to be able to do the same thing that I just figured out how to do. And this all happened in a 2-month period of time, and then we were off to the races.
So then, Brandon, did you utilize the agents that you currently had that was selling on the health side and just transition them in, or did you have to recruit an entire new agent base?
So we used the agents that we had hired initially for the insurance space, the pre-65 space. We basically said, hey, we got to transition over. And when we did that, we just went to these agents and said, hey, we're going to sell a different product. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to start training you. I built a whole training module around it so we could train and educate those agents as well as any new agents that came in.
So really preparing for that scale.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, absolutely.
Very cool. Well, tell me a little bit, as you were building that up, just what was the industry like from kind of that build up to the next stage? You're going from startup to the next stage of actually scaling this business. You figured out some of the things. What are some of the unique parts of the industry during that time? And how did you find yourself competitive during that time?
So I absolutely loved starting that business up because no one else was in the space. I mean, I couldn't tell you one other company that was in the call center space at that time. This is 2009, 2010 range.
Yeah.
And back then, it was an industry that hadn't been established yet. And so when we were buying leads, the leads were so good that they were super cheap because no one knew what to do with them. And we would buy them for $5, $6. And the conversion rate of these leads were somewhere between 10 to 15% on a $5 or $6 lead. And everyone you talked to was needing insurance. I mean, they were needing Medicare. They didn't know who to go to. They didn't know who to talk to. And so we were calling them and we were like, man, this is really easy.
Yeah, yeah.
These people are in need of an insurance product. They're in need of learning about Medicare. And the leads were just perfect for us. So it was just jumping in, the way that we jumped in, it made it really easy for us to be successful early.
Now, you also had a transition in there. You went from kind of this one company and then you ended up going and kind of starting your own company with this same concept. And I know you were able to work that out and make that happen. As you then kind of built your own company and or now went from, an owner CEO or a employee CEO, now you're an owner CEO in this next phase. Walk us through what that was like, that transition as far as like, becoming a CEO and an owner and hiring again and starting again. Did you find it just as easy? What were the challenges? What were the catches that you ran into?
Yeah, we, as we were building the agency, there came a moment in time where I felt like I was dedicating my life to a business. And my business family life balance started to change a little bit.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to, really sit down and think through what was happening. And I made a kind of a life-changing decision to